record then, and we're gonna come to stand just to start this evening, guys. Thank you for joining me as always. So if you want to find yourself some space to take my slippers off because my feet are cold. Okay, brilliant. So feet hip distance apart for me, and let's just roll through the shoulders to begin with. Nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lovely. Just loosening off that tension around the neck and shoulders, and just use this next one just to drop the shoulders down and tuck them into your back pockets. Okay, opening up through the fronts of the shoulders, gently drawing through the belly button. We're just going to add a little turn of the head, so breathing in, and then as you breathe out, just look over to one shoulder, come back to the center, breathe in all the way across to the second side, breathing out at the end. Now really try and keep your collarbones level so that as you turn, you're isolating that movement just to your neck, and your rib cage and your mid back stays nice and stable. Keep the tummy gently drawn in to help. Lovely. We'll do one more on each side, just feeling that lovely stretch across the front of the neck as you look from side to side. Good stuff. Okay, we're going to add on here. So we're going to add a dumb waiter in here. So elbows gently pressed in at the side. Again, just drop the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to open the hands apart, but we're going to keep looking across to the side. So as the hands separate, looking over to one side, bring the hands back to the centre, looking forwards. And then as the hands come open again, we take it to the second side. Gently draw the tummy towards the spine a little bit more as those hands separate. Hi Paul, thanks for joining. Breathing out as you open and in as you come forward. So there's a lot to think about there for just a simple movement. And we're really trying to draw the shoulder blades down and together to open up the fronts of the shoulders and just to bring a little bit of focus to this area between your shoulder blades. Good. We've got one more on each side. And the second side. Okay, keep looking forwards now. We're going to take it into our Cleopatra. So arms out to the side. We float the hands away from us, and as we do, we raise up onto tiptoes, draw the pelvic floor in, and then release to lower down. Good. Nice and slow to begin with. Don't worry, we'll build up in a minute. Good. So just lift and lower. And as you go up, tighten that pelvic floor, but really work on that shoulder position. So as you come up, make sure your arms and shoulders don't float up towards your ears. Be as long as you can through your arms and be as steady as you can through your heels. So try not to let your heels roll in or out. Just keep them in line, and your weight is going equally through those 2 points at the front of your feet. We've got two more. Breathe out to separate and in. Good. And we're going to hold this next one. So lift and hold. A little bit of a balance challenge now. So your core's engaged, your shoulders are away from your ears. Hold here with the heels lifted, or add your head turn back in for a bit more of a challenge. Ooh, so just looking over to one side, try and keep your balance. I didn't do very well then. And that second side. Let's try that again. Let me see how you're doing. So just look from side to side. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, stay as steady as you can. Looking good, everyone. One more head turn to each side. That's better, lovely. And then come back to the centre, lower the heels down, release the elbows, and just give those arms a little bit of a shake out. Very nice. Okay, a little bit more work now just to get the shoulders moving. So again, just focusing on drawing those shoulders back down into your back pockets as we breathe and float the arms up towards the ceiling. And then we scoop the arms round and down to the side. Okay, so really working hard to not let your ribs flare forwards and your pelvis to kick back. We're going to keep that spine nice and long. Breathe in to come up and out to come down. You've got it. Okay, so we're going to add on from here. So we're going to take one leg as the arms come forwards, and we're going to slide it out in front. Option to stay here, or option to lift the leg up, nice long leg, and then lower down. Shift across to the second side. Now the goal with this is that your pelvic bones stay level. So as that leg sweeps out to the front, we're just making sure that the hip doesn't hitch across to the side to allow you to do that. So really press through your standing leg and see if you can drive that hip underneath so that those pelvic bones stay level. And remember, you're either keeping the foot on the floor or you're floating it up for a little bit more of a challenge. If you're going for that float, squeeze that thigh, keep your leg nice and long, and draw your tummy towards your spine as your leg lifts. So you're using that tension in your core to lift the weight of your leg. So that leg lift is going to challenge your balance a little bit. Let's be as smooth and slow and controlled as we can. Good stuff. We've got 2 more on each side. You're looking really good, guys. Grow your posture a little bit more. So lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Keep that pelvis nice and level. 1 more on each side, either with the lift or just with the slide forwards. Okay, you've probably worked out we're going to take it into a hold now. So we're going to lift the leg forwards, either with the toe touching down or the leg lifted. We hold here. Keep holding. Sorry, I'm just looking at what I had planned. I couldn't remember. Keep holding. Good. Watch those shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears. Draw your tummy in. This leg's going to start to feel really heavy now. 3, 2, 1. Touch down. Bring the arms down so they get a break. And then go back over to that first side. So we're either here with the toe gently pressed onto the floor, or we're lifting the leg off the mat. Tummy drawn in towards the spine. Get that foot as high as you can. Get that knee as straight as you can. Keep holding. Watch those shoulders away from your ears. Keep holding. 3, 2, 1. We go back to that first side, okay? So you can repeat that again. Toe pointed down, toe lifted. Or watch this standing leg. We do a little bit of a dip and we come back to stand. A little bit of a dip and we come back to stand. Really challenging that control now around the knee, around the hips. Oh, that's tough. Imagine there's a chair behind you and you're just perching your bottom on it. 3 more, or just hold. 2 more, and 1 more. That's definitely got my heart rate up. Good stuff. Come down. Let's try that on the second side. So you can just lift and hold, pausing here or here. Otherwise, we're going to go for 6 little dips of that knee. Now watch the position of your knee. Try as best as you can to have your knee stable over your second toe and not passing in towards the middle line. So you want that knee stacked over in line with your hip. You've got 2 more. Woo. And you've got 1 more. Hold on if you need to, that's it. Good, and then come down and give those legs a little bit of a shake out. Very, very nice. Okay, we are going to keep these legs going now. So we've really worked these thigh muscles here. Well, I have anyway, so hopefully you have too. We're going to build upon those thigh muscles as we come down into a squat. So just make sure that your pelvis is sitting level, hands on your hips to help. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, just sit back into the heels and then push yourself up to stand. Let's just slow things down a little bit. My heart is going like this, so I just want to bring myself back down again. And we're just going to push through the heels and squeeze through the pelvic floor as we come back up again. You've got it, guys. A little bit lower as you feel a little bit looser. Okay, if you're happy with the position of your pelvis and your knees aren't doing this, we're going to release the hands and we're going to add those arm circles back in again. So we come up, round and down. So as we lower into the squat, the arms sweep forwards. And as we come up to stand, they scoop down again. And as we sit back into the heels, it almost gives us the illusion that we end in a diagonal line as the shoulders are over the hips. You've got it, well done. Really nice. Go a little bit deeper. Go on, it's nearly Christmas. 3 more. 2 more. And we are holding this next one, okay? So we're going to hold, we're going to bring the elbows in at the waist, we're going to draw the tummy towards the spine. So the shoulders sit forwards over the knees. So just make sure your chest is pointing you know, a couple of feet down to the floor in front of you and not completely forwards. Hold that squat as we float out and in, back with our dumb waiter again. So we're just bringing that focus back to the upper back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can. If you want to feel those legs working a little bit harder, have a little glance down at your toes, make sure you can still see them. If they've disappeared, you need to sit a little bit further back into your squat. Okay, so if you're here, you can't see your toes, really feel that in the anterior knees. Sit back into your heels and you will feel it in your thighs. That's what we want. Everybody's doing a really good job, so we're going to do 3 more of these. If you need to at any point, just stand up, shake it out. Otherwise, we're going to go back to that Cleopatra now. So we stay in the squat and we float the arms out to the side, and then we come back in again. Out to the side and back in again. So you can stay here. However, when we did our Cleopatra before, we added a heel raise. So if you want to, in that squat position still, you lift your heels off the floor and then you lower back down. But we stay deep in our squat, so we don't stand up in between. Why? Because we're challenging ourselves. Because it's Christmas. Good. Okay. If you don't get on well with those heel raises, keep those heels down. We've got 3 more. Breathe out to lift. 2 more. We hold this last one, we turn the palms down and we pulse and we squeeze that tummy as best we can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Well done everyone. Lower down, come back up to stand and shake out through those legs. Okay, I'm ever so sorry, but we've got a little bit more to do with these legs now, but you will thank me for it one day. Okay, so we're going to come into our split squat. So I'm going to turn side on and show you what that looks like. If we all have the left leg forwards, so left leg forwards, nice big step, but your feet are still hip distance apart. And then you're going to just lift the right heel off the mat so you can bring your weight down into the center between your 2 legs. And that's really the key here, is your weight stays down in the center and doesn't travel forwards. So set your posture, be as tall as you can, hands on the hips just to make sure we're not hitching side to side. And then when you're ready, just start to think about bending your back knee, but keep your back nice and straight. Now, these start to feel quite spicy after just a few, so you don't need to go too deep. But you can see how just by focusing on bending my back knee, my front knee bends. But I'm not letting my knee travel forwards because my focus is this back knee coming down to the center of my mat, in between the position of my 2 legs. Let me see you. Very good. You've got a tray of drinks on your head. Do not spill. Very nice. Okay. We're going to add that dumb waiter back in now. So elbows at the side as we lower down. Those trays of drinks come out to the side and we bring them back in again. Tighten the tummy and release. Let's have a think about this left knee. As we bend that knee, making sure that it doesn't rock into the center. So just press into the outer border of your foot a little bit more. We've got 3 more. You should be feeling these by now. I am, and I've done about 6 less than you. 2 more. Okay, we hold this next one and we know what's coming. We're going to hold here and we're going to add our Cleopatra. So that back leg should be absolutely screaming at you now. So if you need to stand up at any point, you can do so. Otherwise, we just hold, lengthen and fold. With the option, if you wish, that left heel lifts and lowers as we take our hands out to the side. Don't have to add the heel lift if you don't want to, but we've got 3 more. We've got 2 more, and we're going to hold here. We're going to turn the palms down and we're going to pulse. Draw your tummy in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Well done, you made it, guys. Halfway through. Step those feet back together, shake those legs out. And we go again. So right leg forwards this time. Nice big step along the mat, feet hip distance apart, and just peel that left heel off the floor now. Let's go for it before we talk ourselves out of it. Hands on the hips, posture nice and tall, tray of drinks on your head, slowly down, slowly up. That's it, Mum. Hold on. Go for it. That's looking good. Yeah, set yourself up and go for it. Good. Looking good, everyone. Nice posture, nice tall, long spines. When you're ready, add your dumbwaiter in. So if you're using something to help with your balance, just use the opposite hand. We'll just do single arm dumbwaiter. Otherwise, if you've got your balance, 2 arms, it is. Well done. That heart rate should be picking back up again now. Well done, guys. We're nearly halfway through. In fact, we're halfway through exactly. Good stuff. Okay, 3 more. 2 more. Can we hold? Can we stretch out now? So Cleopatra, draw the tummy in as we lengthen, keep those shoulders down. And if you want to go straight into it, just going to add that front heel, you're going to lift and lower. So we're pretty much working everything in the legs. That little lift and lower of that front heel just works that calf a bit more. Your back thigh should be absolutely shouting out at you now. We've got 3 more. 2 more. Okay, we hold this next one. We turn the palms down, we draw the tummy to the spine and we pulse 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Come down and just softly step your feet back together again. Well done. We started slow, but we quickly built up with those. So we're going to come down onto the mat. We'll do a few roll downs just to loosen off into the spine. So when you're ready, stand nice and tall, catch your breath, and then when you feel up to it, just slowly start to peel down through the bones in your spine. Everything should be feeling like the blood's flowing now. So let's just see if we can stretch a little bit into the back of the body. Hanging over your knees before we stack back up to stand. Okay, and then just simply repeat. Coming up and down. Very nice. So every bone in your spine has the ability to move. So let's see if we can encourage movement at every level, working through any stiff segments and working to control any segments that might need a little bit more thought. Okay, we've got about 2 more of these, so enjoy them because it's tummy's coming up. Okay, final one. And then when you're there, just bend your knees and bring yourself down onto the mat. We come to line our backs, taking it into rest position. Just give you a moment just to think about your cameras if you need to. So as you're all setting up, I'm just going to remind you of what we're focusing on here. So we're working into our abdo prep sequence. So that's where we float the head and shoulders off the mat, kind of like a crunch. But we're really focusing on using our tummy and not our neck. So if your neck does start to feel sore, I want you to rest your head down, let that soreness settle and join back in again. So the way that we make our core work harder is to really think about the connection between the rib cage and the waist. So we start by sliding the rib cage down into the waist, and by doing that, you'll notice how that changes the position of your back on the mat. So if you draw your rib cage down, everything flattens. We draw the tummy towards the spine as well, and we're going to reach the hands down past the hips, peel the head and shoulders off the mat, and then we slowly smooth the spine back down again. Now, I don't mind how high your head and shoulders come. Just start though by connecting the ribs down, draw the tummy towards the spine, reach your hands past your hips, and then even if your head and shoulders just float 0.5 centimetre off the floor, that's fine. Or you might have a little bit more room and you might be able to bring the whole of the upper back off the mat. But just keep your gaze over your knees, not down towards your belly button, so that the neck stays nice and long. You've got been to your Christmas tree, you've got your favourite ball off your Christmas tree, and you've just put it between your chin and your chest. So you can't crush it, but if you drop it, it's going to smash. So you've got to keep that same distance throughout your neck position. Breathe out to come up. A real forceful exhale really helps with that movement, and come back down again. Rest when you need to, knees towards the chest. We're going to build up with these, okay? We've got quite a few of them. If you're finding that really tough, interlace your fingers and give your head a little bit of support. But what I can see is looking really nice. Good, Jill. Well done, Lauren. Liz, you've disappeared underneath your camera, but I'm sure you're doing great. Okay, 2 more like that. And then we're going to hold this next one. So reach down. Imagine there's a glass of wine at the bottom of your mat, one on each side, red and white. Reach for the wine and pulse your arms here. If you need to, lower the head down at any point. Lift it when you feel ready. Keep pulsing those arms. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Draw the tummy to the spine. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Super slowly smooth down and give your knees a good hug. Very nice. Okay, I hope you all felt that in your tummies. So we're gonna repeat that again, but with the option to add a little bit of shortening now from the lower tummy. So that was very much the upper abs. We're going to add the lower abs in now. So the setup is still the same. Ribs drive down, tummy's drawn in. We reach the hands past the hips. And as we float the head and shoulders up, we stack into a tabletop. So just shortening now to bring that knee over the hip. And then we slowly lower down and we swap sides. Breathe out, come up. Pause beautifully in that tabletop, knee over hip, heel lifted in line with the knee. Keep it going. Left and right, swap from side to side. Good. Thanks, Liz. Can see you now. Looking good. Reach really long. Reach past your toes. That's better. You will feel your tummy engage the further you reach. Looking good. Good breathing. 2 more leg lifts on each side. Remember to rest if you need to. Okay, hold this next one for me. Engage through the pelvic floor and we pulse the arms. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Lovely. Lower down. The foot comes down. And then we swap to the second side. So scoop through the arms and shoulders, lift into tabletop, draw through your pelvic floor, pulse the arms. Well done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Down we come. Give the knees a hug. Well done, team. Okay. Going to give the neck and shoulders a little bit of a rest. We're not quite done with it yet. We're going to come back into our rest position and we're going to challenge the lower tummy a little bit more. So we're going to float one leg into tabletop. You've got that tray of drinks now resting on your waist. See if you can switch legs without spilling that tray of drinks. You might need to just flatten your rib cage down slightly, but bring your opposite leg up as you lower that first leg. Don't spill your drinks. Back again to that first side. So you've got that little switch in the middle and you should really feel how your abdominal wall engages as the weight of your legs changes midway. Make sure your end table top position is beautifully placed with your knee over your hip. Good. Keep it going. Don't let your tummy lift. Don't let your back arch. Let me see you. This is your scissors level 3. Well done. Okay, now I said we were having a rest from the head and shoulders. If you still feel like you need to rest, keep going with those beautiful scissors, chopping up your wrapping paper. I've got all that job to do tonight. Otherwise, you can add that abdo prep back in. So we've reached the hands down to the bottom of the mat, hover the head and shoulders off the mat, and we carry on with our scissors. Snip, 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 lift and lower alternate feet. We're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep going guys, 5 minutes left, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, just hug your knees towards you. Looking really, really good there. Catch your breath. Okay, a little bit left. We're going to bring the focus now onto the side of the body, but still use that head and shoulders lift, okay? So it doesn't matter how high your head comes, really think about drawing the rib cage down to the waist. Back in your rest position, this time now, that glass of wine is alternating either side of your mat, or it could be a mince pie, it could be whatever you fancy. So you're going to float your head and shoulders off the mat, reach your hands down, and then reach down to the outside of your right foot. So you're tilting across to one side, and then reach the left hand down to the outside of the left foot. Back to the center, rest down if you need to, or carry on going. So you can keep the lift, or you can rest in between. But we're lengthening one hand down to the outside of the foot, and then the opposite hand down to the opposite foot. Little rest in between when you feel your head getting too heavy. And we go again. You don't have to be as high as I was. You could be here. Just bringing that head half an inch off the mat. Or you could be all the way up here. But we're still working the same muscles. But so long as you're feeling it in your tummy and not in your neck. Good, little rests when you need to, well done. Shortening on one side, lengthening on the other. Beautiful work, keep it going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down and give your knees a good hug. Okay, we're nearly there now. Okay, we're going to repeat that little side bend with the option, of course, to make it a bit harder if you want to, and bring yourself into a double tabletop, okay? So you can just repeat what we've just done, reaching from side to side with rests in between, or we bring the knees into double tabletop. We'll squeeze them together because we're not doing anything with them when they're there. Make sure those knees are over the hips and the heels in line with the knees, and then when you're ready, add that little side bend in. And even if you're in that more challenging level with the double tabletop, doesn't mean that you can't take little rests in between. Once you've gone from side to side, do what you can. Let me see you. Nice, go and really reach down. Okay, keep going. We're here for 10, last abs, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, I've got you, and 1. Well done, down we come. Bring the knees towards you. Last little bit of abs that was. We're just going to have a stretch out now. So let's take it into a full body stretch. So lower one leg down onto the mat at a time. And then I want you to just stretch your hands to the top of the mat and the feet to the bottom, and be as long as you can on your mat. Feel that rib cage now pulling away from the waist, the opposite to what we've just been working on with all that shortening. So you had a good 10 minutes of abs there. So you can thank yourself, and you can eat guilt-free tomorrow. It doesn't really work like that, but it's nice to think it does. Okay, let's bring it onto our tummies. We'll just take it into cobra stretch to finish. So just fold yourself back into rest position, rolling onto your side. Bring yourself onto your hands and knees. Sorry, onto your tummies, sorry. And then we can either take it into a mini cobra with the forearms, or a full cobra pressing into the hands. Now let's bring in all that lovely shoulder set work that we did at the start. So make sure that your shoulder blades are tucking down into your back pockets, and the fronts of your shoulders are nice and open as well. I'd like to see long necks with this. So you can look forwards or you can look up. And you can hold this, or you can slowly smooth yourself back down again before you're ready to go again. Make sure you're breathing here. Keep it going. Just lift and lower or lift and hold. They look absolutely wonderful. Keep it there for 5, 4, feel those tummy muscles stretching out. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly smooth down onto the mat. Tuck your toes underneath and then just finish off by sitting back to your heels. So as you go into this position, you should feel that arch in your back that you just achieved, just opening out and taking a nice deep sigh out. Okay, we will finish here with some deep breaths. So breathing in right down to your lower back. And then just slowly exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Now feel free to hang out here a little bit longer if you need to. Feel pretty relaxed down here. Or come and say hello. Say goodbye, sorry.